programming and its source. There are people, do you realize there are people they program video because they wanted to protect you, and so they talk about play not to lose. But they didn't realize that learning how to play not to lose is not the same as learning how to win. They're different. And it's recognized. Source. Remove your programming that isn't serving. Take it to your involved. This programming on a subconscious level can produce revenue for our company, so I can keep paying all our employees, and I can keep living my life like it's golden. $6.5 million in the first 5 months of the year. I hope y'all don't feel like I'm fussing at you or like I'm condescending, because that's not my intent. My intent is to help you wake up from your slumber and recognize that your unconscious, subconscious, automatic mind is fighting against all the results that you say you want.
Yeah.
And it's time you
Oh
do
no, my butt.
Just say. All right, well, I hope this video blesses you, and I hope you'll go apply it. And we'll look forward to seeing you on the next video. In the meantime, in between time, stay blessed by the best. Peace out.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI creation platform. Describe what you want and watch it take shape. You can plan, customize, and expand in any direction. From tools built for one to platforms ready for many. From passion projects to enterprise-grade systems. Everything is built in and ready to launch. It's a new world of creation, where you can go as far as your imagination takes you. Can you imagine it? Let's make your dream a reality, right now.
The perfect name. Now this home is yours. Get your domain on Wix Domains before someone else does. Lock in your idea, your identity, your future. Because great names don't wait. And neither should you. Go to Wix Domains. Most people think that money is wealth. They think that they need money more than they need any other thing. If I just had more money, it'd fix my problem. But what they really need is better relationships. It's interesting how most people think of relationships as an inconvenient necessity rather than the essential element. People are so relationship averse that they would rather satisfy their real need for connection with some artificial substitute that makes no demands on their personal growth and development. The reason, and when I say that, I'm talking about pornography, I'm talking about social media, I'm talking about AI, I'm talking about music, movies, television shows, the list goes on and on, novels, and all the rest of it. So
Yeah, baby.
Actually not there, but I can feel
Yeah.
that I have a relationship without actually doing the work. And I want to talk to you about relationship riches. That's what I'm going to talk to you about today. Relationship riches, discover
It's the 16th already, baby.
and deploy
Already, baby.
well through relationships. I mean, just let that marinate for me. What is a relationship?
Already, baby.
Before I get into that, understand that if you are in the presence
Already,
of your
baby.
children and you'd rather be looking at your phone because it's not asking anything of you, you are fumbling on the 1 yard line. You're in the presence of your spouse and you're scrolling Facebook, doom scrolling Instagram, watching YouTube videos. Instead of making real connections with real people, you are sacrificing your long-term fulfillment on the altar of instant gratification.
That is
not
the 16th, baby.
If you are at work or you are in a meeting with a client and you can't stop looking at your phone, it's already costing you a fortune.
We are a premium coffee company that's very passionate about the craft of roasting high quality coffee, and we were very fortunate to land on Walmart Marketplace.
Walmart Marketplace has allowed Firecrest Coffee to grow 98% year-over-year.
If you're a business looking to grow and scale with Walmart, I really suggest that you would start on Walmart Marketplace. We are Fire Department Coffee, and we are a Walmart Marketplace seller.
So interesting that all of these very poor substitutes for real connection that we build with real people. When we interact with other people, we have to act. We actually have to have different opinions and have different habits and different ways of being than they do. And so now it requires energy. Because if I'm talking to somebody and they're different than me, then I've got to bite my tongue and open my ears long enough to attempt to comprehend their perspective before I start rambling off with all the stuff I was interviewing one time.
Doesn't say.
It's the most painful interview of my life. It's painful. It was exhausting because the person was interviewing me. They would ask me a question and the answer was interrupted. And they'd ask me another question and the answer was interrupted. They'd ask me another. So you want to use what I'm saying to prove your point. Why are we having this conversation? Then I had an interview with one of the biggest personal development brand podcast out there, Lewis House, and on School of Greatness. It was just, and I thought it was going to go one way, in a totally different way, but it was not a manufactured conversation. It was just a conversation that turned into one of the most real and enjoyable and mind-blowing conversations I've ever had, because he was genuinely interested in getting to know me, and I was genuinely interested in getting to know him. It was just an amazing conversation. And so, like, anybody here married? Anybody here married? Okay. W-O-R-K, can I get a witness? No, because here's one thing your spouse might live in the same house, but it's true that they ain't you. Can I get a witness? They don't think like you. It's so fascinating how opposites attract, right? One of you is an early bird, one of you likes to go to bed late. Right? One of you is not prepared for even maybe thoughtful at all. The other one wants to make sure they know where every penny's in. Right? It's like one of you loves to talk and the other one's like, a conversation? What? Right? But it's those differences and then working through them result of a relationship. Which makes me so thankful for one of my original relationships, which was the relationship that I had with my parents, who taught my brothers and I the value of being able to get along with people who are different than you. Starting with my brothers. Right? It was interesting. We didn't have to necessarily like each other all the time, but we weren't allowed to fight each other. You can fight out there, but you can't come in here and fight. My dad would say, you could pass the first lick, but I'm gonna pass the last lick. You did not want my dad passing the last lick. His hands were harder than this table. Okay? And so all of us, I am telling you right now, I know this for a fact. The wealth that has been avoiding and evading you is on the other side of relationships that you've been unwilling to develop. The breakthrough that you've been
breakthrough.
working towards in your business has been resisting you because of the relationships and the relationship skills you've been resisting developing. See, something.
Hey, Mom. Just let that marinate. Do you think of people as essential to your business, but if you didn't have to deal with them, you better not? Guess what? They do it. You ever meet somebody like, what does that even mean? Would it mean something about their energy, which includes their intention and what they're thinking and what they're feeling and what their objectives are? It's not just in their head, it emotes out of every cell of their body. And I really believe that business is easy for me. And I know it sounds so sad. Super excited. But I really have, I don't want to sound like a pat myself on the back, I'm not, by the grace of God. I really have your best interest in me. And I look at people who have a hard time assigning good motives. It's really easy for them to assign bad. They did that themselves, right? But I think the reason that God blessed me with this perspective that I love people is because in the first part of my life, most of my life, I was an outcast. And so it was easy for me to feel the feelings of an outcast. I had polio as an infant, I walked with a limp, I walked with a brace on my leg, and it's really fascinating. Like for people in wheelchairs, or people who have some kind of physical challenge, you ever just had a conversation with some of those people, or some of those people, what you would discover, do people see them? And people really look away to keep from staring.
GPS. When plans change, you can instantly notify the entire team from the app. Connect team automatically turns those hours into accurate timesheets, so there's no more payroll day surprises. Make sure to check out Connect Team for free, no credit card requirements.
Introducing AI Studio in Adobe Stock, your new creative hub. Shape over 900 million assets to your vision. Edit and transform without breaking your flow. Now every asset becomes a starting point. Search, edit, make it yours.
And so, like, I'm so cool with the fact that I've always lived. I don't even cool, like, I got stuff with that too. But I'm so cool that I don't know. Because I realized that there's no such thing as just something bad. If it's bad, absolutely it's good. Even if it doesn't feel good. There's something about life you think about that makes you feel good, even if the thing's painful. So, I remember what it was like to get kicked last on the playground because I couldn't run. Nobody wants to be picked last. I do more pull-ups than anybody, I do more push-ups than anybody, but I couldn't run, so I got picked last. I knew what that felt like. I knew what it felt like to have other kids call you names and make fun of you just because you were different. And I know what it's like to hate being different because it ostracized you. And because of all of that stuff, and I'm not saying this to feel sorry for me, please don't feel sorry for me. I wouldn't trade my life for anybody I've ever met or met. Hashtag just saying. Okay. But the reason I'm telling you that is because I don't ever want to make anybody feel that way. Like sometimes it's my own difference. I have, like when I go to conferences, I have to have security. Not because my life is in danger necessarily. I mean, anybody's life could be in danger at any moment. It's crazy as it was today. That's not the main reason is because I don't have an ending just playing around trying to take a picture. I don't have an ending, but I know I can't do it. Like, because if I do it, if I go to a conference with 4,000 people and I stop to take pictures, it's a, hey, man, you have a second to take a picture? It's a second for you, it's 4 hours for you. Not exactly. And I've got stuff I've got to do, places I've got to be. And so, like, that's...
Cause I gotta pee.
So I have to have people around and say no, and it don't bother me. It bothers me. Right? And so, I don't ever want to make anybody... I was with one of my employees. I'm naturally introvert. Like, it's hard for y'all to believe this. If you're watching on YouTube, how's this guy? If you meet me here, if you went somewhere with me where it's not my space,
Yeah,
Yes.
that's how it goes,
If
baby.
you don't have an audience who believe that you have their solution,
That's how it goes.
I care enough about the stuff I believe to go through all of the work that I had to go through to get to the place in my life where I can actually have a relatively intelligible conversation about it so that it helps somebody other than me. Read more books. Now, I'm gonna make a couple of assertions. I know a lot about a lot of things. Like, I'm not bragging, that's a statement of fact. I know a lot about a lot of things. I know a lot about a lot of seemingly unrelated things. Why? Because all principles are microcosms of each other. I know why planes fly. I understand to a moderately high level music theory. Even though I can't read music notation, but I can play musical instruments. I understand technology enough to accomplish anything in technology that I need accomplished with or without help. I understand business at an extremely crazy high level, to the point where I can make millions upon millions upon millions upon millions upon millions upon millions upon millions of dollars per year working part-time.
I hear you, Mari. I can make millions of dollars.
And like at least some living level principles enough to apply them and share them with others in a way that matters. I can fly an airplane. So then, I'm in New York, I'm in Brooklyn, and I'm speaking at this church, and the pastor had me come every, and his name is Vinny Story. Vinny was one of the best, like, two Bible preachers I knew in the world. Like, just had biblical insight on biblical, like, he could write a study Bible, and it would be amazing. Like, the kind of guy you get around and you start teaching the Bible, you're like, have I ever even seen a Bible? Right? He's that guy, right? And so, I'm like, Kenny, I was talking to my friend Kenny, he's like the best communicator I know. He recommended these books to me. And so I gave Vinny one of the books. I said, what do you think? He said, fantastic. I started glitching, right? And Vinny has no ego. He's not an egomaniac. He's like the most humble dude you've ever meet in your life. And I'm like, he's one of the best people. He is. Vinny's one of the best Bible teachers. I'm telling Vinny about showing Vinny some resources I got from Kenny. Vinny said that time. Now I am confused. I am bewildered. Dumbfounded. I'm lost. What? Like, if I don't understand something, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna ask a question.
Well, that's a question.
Just say that. I knew he had a reason. I would have never gone to go. He said,
You sound.
this changed my
Hmm?
life. He said, I don't like
What'd you say, love?
the man, the message, the mission. He said, he said, I believe that every point in an outline should be a complete. That's what he means. He told me. My brain melted. I had just learned from having
Yeah, no, it's time to go. Hmm?
So he's saying for these reasons God gave us a name. So the title of the message that I wrote or outlined based on this formula was why a name above every name. This is the reason why Jesus has to have a name above every name. So notice the outline. Number one, because he had a position above every position. In that he coexisted with the church.
Oh, snap.
It's really interesting that seek to solve other people's problems and then come up with a solution, seek to serve that solution to those people. Like, what is value? Value or where do I get the opportunity to make money? What makes me an effective entrepreneur? My ability to a large percentage will never buy anything. I don't care. I don't care. Why don't you care? I don't care. Because I'm not doing it so they buy something.
I don't care, Myron.
Because I learned a long time ago that you cannot outsow farm. You can't sow so much seed that you run out of seed. Every word is a seed, every deed is a seed, every dollar is a seed, every thought is a seed that I'm sowing into the garden of my heart. Jesus told the parable of the sower. He said, a sower went forth to sow some good seed in his field. And he said, some fell by the wayside, and the birds came down and gobbled up. Some fell on stony ground where it didn't have much to do with the bird. And it sprung up really quick, but the first hot day, it withered and died. Some fell on thorny ground where the cares of this world came and choked it down. Some fell on good ground. Now, he didn't give percentages, but let's just if this were the case, what if 25% of the seed fell on each one of those grounds? That means 75% of the seed was wasted on soil that was not good ground. But then he said, some seed fell on good ground, and the seed that fell on good ground, some produced 30, your skills would benefit other
So
people.
this is, do I go
Now, let
tonight?
me tell you something.
Or do I go?
This relationship riches thing, yeah, riches is money. Yes, yeah. Oh. Some people, I don't care about your rich. You lie about that, you lie about that.
I'm about 80% I'm going tomorrow.
Okay.
Now, you may not care most about being rich. I don't care most about being rich. I care about it. You know why? Because I used to be broke. I used to be broke as a joke and ready to choke. Let me tell you something. Rich is more valuable. Way more valuable. But I'm not just talking about money riches. I'm talking about relationship riches. I'm talking about my life is full of people that I could call at 3 o'clock in the morning and they would drop what they're doing to come help me. Why? Because that's who I've been for them. Are y'all tracking? Attention. Intention. Your talents. Like, utilize your life's energy in the service of other people. I should write a book called Looking Out for Number 2. And then with a subtitle, Don't Forget 345. That's the solution.
Huh?
That's the solution. That's where trust is created.
What you say?
You made me asleep earlier.
I'ma be up.
Oh, okay. Oh,
I'm saying for you.
okay.
I'ma be up. Yeah, like leave around 4 so we get down there. That's about 2 hours away, so we get in there by 6.
This is what we were created for.
Then, you know.
That's the same one.
It couldn't recognize him. It couldn't say, I am so thankful that God created me. So, God created it, and it was very, very functional. But there was no relationship ability between God
Which
and
way you
creation.
coming back?
So God said, okay, next order of business, I'm going to create creatures. The dogs, the cats, the chimpanzees, the alligators, the giraffes, etc., etc., etc. And they do things that animated. They move, they experience.
I'm coming straight back.
They still can't contemplate
You gotta stay in the Charlotte area for the day and then
mental
you
capacity
come back.
to conceptualize themselves. But they're functional. They do stuff. Cool. Then God, on day 6, the last day of creation, day 7 is the day of rest. So I guess that counts. So the next to the last day of creation. So God created man. When I say man, I'm talking about humans. He created Adam. He created Adam. God called their name Adam. Adam later called him Eve. Okay, so like wrap your mind around this. God created someone who is like him, but not him. When God first made man, he made Adam's body, boom, and put inside of capacity for the woman. So he made the man father. He gave Adam a job. He said, I want you to name all the animals. When the animals came to Adam, they came as couples. You're like, where am I? And God said something that he had never said before to the story. Because when God, the end of the first day, he said it was good. The end of the second day, it was good. The end of the third day, it was good. The end of the fourth day, it was good. Fifth day, it was good. It's good. It's good. And then all of a sudden, God makes man, and then he says, it is not good for the man to be alone. Huh. Huh. Now, yes, a man needs wife. That's not all men. The bigger picture is that people need people. Humans need humans. It's not good for man to be alone. Now, other than the fact that God is God and he knows everything, how did God know that it was not good for man to be alone? Other than the fact that he knows everything. I get it. You're like, man, that question doesn't make any sense. Okay, I don't know another way to ask it. Bear with me. Well, the other way God knew it wasn't good for man to be alone. Because God made man in God's image. It wasn't good for God to be alone. So God made man first and foremost for a relationship with him. First and foremost. See, we've been told that God cares about relationship. God cares about relationship. His terms, not yours, not mine. His terms. Okay, cool.
That's the last one. Who is that? You alright, nigga?
When recess is your favorite subject, you need clothes that can keep up. Find the right thing so you can do your thing. It's back to school at Target.
You know what I don't have in Crane? Popcorn in Crane. What? Every time I tell you, something else happens. You said you were making breakfast and popcorn.
God's got a list of that need. Man severs the connection. There go those people peopling again.
Hmm.
Isn't it interesting?
Yeah, coming.
But he's not here. We're going to be dropping the announcement of the next one next Friday.
Restored connection. He gave
Careful what I say. It's live.
and the contribution that he gave to people who had
I'm
nothing.
like, damn, what? Oh, we got these watches.
I want you to think about this. I am being most like God when I am seeking to solve and serve other people's problems to make a contribution to someone else's life, especially when they have nothing to offer me. What if we really believe that? now with that are dead. Very, very, very big things.
The last thing I want to say is this. It's my last. So point one was aspire to better communication. Point two was acquire better connections. Point three was ascend to better, be a better contributor. Point five, avoid at all costs being an entitled confiscator. There are two types of people in the world. There are makers, there are takers.
Be a maker. Don't be a taker.
Don't be a taker.
There are takers who pretend. See, we think that the opposite of being a taker is being a giver. It's not the opposite of being a taker. There are too many millions of people in the world who are willing to give away other people's stuff. They've done nothing to acquire, but they want to give away other people's stuff. The opposite of the opposite of a taker is a maker. And here's what I discovered. Makers love to make and hate to take. Takers love to take, hate to make. So they like to confiscate other people's belongings, the things that other makers have made. You got all these virtuous people.
I'm telling you.
Then and only then can I have real relationship riches. The money, the memories, the experiences, the open doors. All of it because I value relationships over revenue. I would recommend you use it.
I hope this blesses you, helps you in ways that you hadn't thought about yet. And I'll look forward to seeing you next week. Bye for now.
Okay.
And I sent the invites to
I'm
live.
gonna find something to soak my feet.
And now, that's my new job.
Visit Indeed.com/hire now to sponsor a job today.
What,
I
love?
have a lot of these things that y'all say.
I need a foot tub to soak my feet. They got one of those at Dollar Tree.
No, I don't think so. Maybe a lot. It just does little feet going.
And the outcome that we believe about the future and the degree to which we believe of that outcome is the same degree to which we take an action that lines up with that outcome that we believe in.
Alright, so leave early in the morning,
You understand? You understand?
head down to drop these off.
It doesn't matter if it's me sitting in this chair. I have to believe that this chair is not going to just collapse and fall down. If I believe the chair is going to collapse, it's kind of like those people who get on an airplane and they're so locked in, right? And I've always, like, you sat beside people, but maybe I've sat beside people like this. You see somebody, and you want to say, you do know that chair is on this plane too, don't you?
Right. And to be fair, I used to be one of those people. I hated flying. At least that's what I would say. Can I tell you what I felt? Can I tell you what I felt? Terror! Every time I got on a plane, I would think to myself, this is insane. There's nothing about this that makes sense. This plane made it so that every time the plane made a sound, every time it hit
Once that's lined up and straight. Just wipe them down. Well, I have to go get some more also.
I understand that a
But next thing you do is just wipe them down.
A plane was designed
Huh?
to
One more
fly.
Dollar Tree.
A plane is better off in the air than it is on the ground. Because it was designed for all of the stress
Next
that
thing you do is
only
wipe them
being
down.
in the air can give it. I wish I had some help in there. In fact,
Package them back up.
a hurricane or a tornado is coming through and they've got enough time, they're going to get as many planes out of the area that are exposed outside as possible. They'll fly to another airport. Why? Because that much wind blowing around airplanes is going to be flipping them over. They're going to be flying in the air without anybody on it. Because a plane was designed to fly.
The plane was designed to
Search
fly.
the scriptures to find out the principles that govern everything. We go through life with a lot less fear
You didn't have that
and a lot
much
more
in
faith.
it.
So, I love the fact that it says, now by faith, not faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. It says, for by it, that is by faith, the elders obtained a good report. Do you realize anybody who's ever obtained a good report did it by faith? Did it based, they took, and here's what I mean, here's what that verse is telling us. The actions that the elders took that gave them a good reputation were actions they took based on the things that they believed. Okay.
Build apps that scale. Meet Base 44. Dropped it. Foundation set. Structure's good to go. Now, build it up from there. Plug in your integrations. Get exactly what you need.
My computer's not ready.
When to write your own code. Push and pull from GitHub as you go. Own your workflows and environment. When you want that visual impact, drop in any
I gotta get my
library.
computer.
Watch it come.
Man, I can use that today.
With security built in, keep your data safe every step of the way. Ready? Deploy in one click with full control and zero compromise. Base 44, build it your way.
What? Thank you.
Michael Jordan got cut from his high school basketball team. But he believed that he could be good enough to be in the NBA. And so what did he do? When he got cut, he made a decision, this will never happen to me again. Because based on the principle of preparation over performance, I am going to become so good at basketball, nobody will ever cut me again. I'm going to become so good at this game that not only will nobody ever be cut, I'm going to become legendarily good because I am going to work so hard behind the scenes that when I show up on the scene, oh, I'm going to show them something they ain't never seen. See, one of the differences between an amateur and a professional in any arena, a professional, just to be a professional, just to make it into the profession. I'm not talking about Mike Michael Jordan. I'm just talking about you're in the NBA. You're on the PGA. You're in the MLB. You're in the NFL. You're a professional athlete. You get paid a fortune to play a child's game. That's no shade. That's just an observation. You made it to that level. Here's why. You spent at least 4 times as much time preparing based on principles as you do performing. Amateurs spend 4 times as much time performing as they do preparing. A reporter asked Tom Landry about, I think it was Tony Dorsett. I'm not sure, because I'm not big, but I think it was Tony Dorsett. Anyway, when he got, I think it was Tony Dorsett for the draft, and if it wasn't, you can correct me in the comments. That'll be fine for the football fans out there. I don't know. I've seen one professional football game my whole life, and it was in 1972. It was the Super Bowl. After that, I was done. Okay, so the reporter asked him, "How does it feel?" Maybe it was Roger Payton. I don't know. Anyway, how does it feel to get in the draft a player with such a burning desire to win? Tom Landry said, "Not nearly as good as it feels to have gotten a player who has such a burning desire to prepare." Whew. You want to make it to Michael Jordan level of anything?
Ah!
Kobe Bryant level? Tiger Woods level? Dr. J, Magic Johnson level? Of any, Steph Curry level? Of anything? Oh, we ain't talking about 4 times as much time preparing. We're talking about 10 times as much time preparing. You prepare more than twice as much as people who are just in the pros. People who become the elite in any arena, they don't just practice until they get it right. They practice until they can't get wrong. That's the level of preparation I'm talking about. And in order to do that, you have to have a level of belief about what's possible that energizes you to prepare when other people are relaxing, when other people are distracting, when other people are playing. You have to have a level of intensity for preparation because you understand. Faith is not a wish, it's not hope. It's an expectation based on principles. Which means you have to understand the principles or you can't prepare. It's so interesting. So I love golf. Those of you who watch me, you know that I love golf and I love to play golf. And when I was younger, like 3 years ago, I used to play golf every day. And in recent months, I've played 3 or 4 times a week, sometimes 5. Because I'm not pretending, I love golf. But I used to be good. And when I was good, I used to practice for at least a couple hours every, like 3 or 4 days a week, practice. Now I'm not good anymore. I'm just not good at golf. Now to me, not good means shooting in the 80s or 90s. I'd rather not play. Because I can remember the good old days when I'd shoot in the 70s,
Okay, Myron.
at least like 6 out of 10 times I played. And then the 80s, the other times, and never in the 90s.
Okay, Myron. We get it. Never in the 90s. Yeah. Comment, though.
And golf didn't hurt that. Golf hurts. Somebody said, keep on hitting the ground with a stick and see what's gonna get up first. The ground, the stick, or your body. Report back. Okay, I'm reporting back. Golf didn't used to hurt. It hurts now. I'm like, I'm playing bad golf. I'm in pain. This is dumb as a box of rock. And Myron, you may not be the sharpest knife in the drawer, but you ain't no wooden spoon, bro. This don't work. Stop it. Stop it. Okay, cool. Twice a week. The rest of the time I'm going to spend preparing my body, preparing my game. And until I can go out and shoot in the 70s, more than twice a week ain't happening. Until I can go out and shoot in the 70s consistently, more than twice a week ain't happening. If I shoot in the 70s, that'll gain me one more round. It'll be 3 times that week, right? But you say, Myron, what are you saying? I'm saying, like, you have to have a belief about the future that empowers you. I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm not just going to talk about this. But it says by faith, by faith the elders obtained a good report. See, it was Steve Jobs' belief and the fact that a computer could be elegant. And it could have fonts and design and not just be a utilitarian tool in a box with a bunch of numbers for its name. And he created design in a tool that was so elegant that when people would buy an Apple computer, they'd keep the box for years, even decades, right? I bought an Apple Mac Pro for $8,000 with a big old 32-inch monitor in 2006. That computer cannot be upgraded anymore. It cannot get online. It's good for 2 things. Watching the videos that are on the hard drive and heating up the kitchen in the morning. Okay, so that's all I can do. But it's got sentimental value. I didn't throw the box away until probably 2020. And the box sitting in the ground. What am I getting this box for? This computer's not going anywhere else. This is dumb. I was talking to somebody in my family and said, oh, I have every Apple device. Why? Because Steve Jobs believed that the packaging could have design and elegance. He believed in what he saw in his mind before he ever saw it in his environment so much that he changed the computer industry, the phone industry, the music industry, and the movie industry, and the tablet industry forever. 5 industries, just took them over. One person, one lifetime. Why? Because the level of expectation he had about the future gave him the ability to change the world. I'm not saying Steve Jobs is a great person. I'm saying Steve Jobs had great faith in the things he was working on. Why should he have more faith in his ability to apply the principles that God created than you, who proclaim to believe the word of God, had to accomplish the purpose for which you were created? Why? Okay, so faith. Now, faith is the substance. Sub means under. Stance means to stand upon. So faith is the foundational framework of everything that is fundamental to life. Faith is the foundational framework of everything that's fundamental. You get that? Now faith is the substance. By the way, the word faith is not a wish. It is a well-founded, well-grounded expectation for the future. It's a conviction based on the fact that you believe, who, everybody tap yourself on the chest, say me, that you believe this is truth. Okay? It's a system. Okay. Substance of things. So the foundation of things is faith. And it is the evidence. What's the word evidence mean? What's it mean? Proof. The proof of things not seen. So here's what it's saying. Now faith is where I stand on the things I expect while I prove the things I cannot see. Which means the work that I do standing on an expectation of a future outcome that I cannot see, have never seen, other people have not seen, my family hasn't seen. They don't believe, they believe that what I see is delusion. But it's not delusion, it's faith. It's my well-grounded, well-founded expectation for the future. I remember my brother telling me, he's like, dude, I remember when you were broke. I used to come to your house, you know what, and I bought rent. I always rented houses that were really, really cheap, and they needed work, and then I'd fix them up, and I'd have to pay less for rent. And my brother said, man, I remember I used to come to your house. You live in these dilapidated houses. You got all these books on the table about getting rich and becoming a millionaire. I used to be so mad at you, because I used to think, why didn't you just get a job and be like the rest of us? Now, he told me this after he ascended the corporate ladder and found out that it was leaning against the wrong building. And then he came and learned from me how to be an entrepreneur. And later, after that, when he became successful as an entrepreneur, that's when he came and told me this, right? But I could see so clearly that my only path, and you understand, the only path that was worth trotting for me was the path of entrepreneurship. Now, I don't know what path you're supposed to be on. I knew what path I was supposed to be on. It was the only path I saw that didn't have any barricades because of age, gender, level of education, skin color, age, degrees, and all the other gates that they put up to make you think something's not possible for you. Like entrepreneurship, you can just decide to be one. And then determine you're gonna learn how. And then last through the learning curve. Keep working on the thing that feels like it's not working while it's working on you and not yet working for you. And if it takes a year, then take a year. If it takes 10, then take 10. If it takes 14, like it did for me, then take 14, because the 14 years is going to go by whether you do it or not. You might as well stay in the game. And I get a witness. And I'm like, how's that thing working? Working great. How much money have you made? I don't know. I'm not done counting it up yet. Here's what that means. None yet. That's what that means. None yet. It's going to take us a while to get it all counted. Like with a little attitude too, right? Like, people who don't have my vision for their future, the same vision for their future that I have for mine, I don't really have time to care what they think about my vision. My vision came from God, for my purpose. Now faith is a substance. It's where I'm standing. I'm standing on something I can't see. I'm proving something that I can't see. I'm standing on this belief, on this expectation of a future outcome. Now faith is where I stand on the things I expect, while I prove the things I cannot see. And that's how I'm going to develop visualization. Because I'm going to see something, and then I'm going to say something based on what I see, then I'm going to serve someone based on what I see, and then eventually, success is going to follow that service. Why? That's how God set it up. From the beginning. I must keep working on it. And I'm telling you, I'm not exaggerating. It took me, from the time I got started as an entrepreneur in financial services, it took me a year and a half to make my first sale. Most people would have quit. Why didn't you quit? I didn't have a plan B. My alphabet had one letter in it. A. I kept working and working and working, and finally, a year and a half later, I made a sale. I didn't have a six-figure year for 14 years. It took me 20 years to have a six-figure month. 20 years. 20-something years, I don't remember when my first 7-figure month was. But it took me 20-something years to have a 7-figure month. Say, oh man, that's a long time. Baby. It's a long time either way. Do it, it's a long time. Don't do it, it's a long time. The time is the time.
The perfect name that was almost yours. Get your domain on Wix Domains before someone else does. Lock in your idea, your identity, your future. Because great names don't wait, and neither should you. Put your name on it.
Put your name on it. Huh? What? What?
So by faith, we understand that the worlds were framed. There's that framework. The worlds were framed by the word of God. That's so good. That's so good. I can wallow in that right now. The worlds. Wait a minute. I know what the world was and is, but I don't know what the worlds were. What are these worlds? What world is on? What, keep reading. I'll tell you. Just keep reading. Bless you. That's what it says. By faith we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of God. So that things which are seen were not made of things which do appear. Like, we can go to the house now. Things which are seen. Let me ask you all a question. For those of you on the YouTube sphere, and for those of you in this room, can y'all see anything? And like wherever you looking right now, can you see? Look around the room where you are.
Look around the room, yeah.
Those things that you see were made of things that you can't see. On every level.
Look around the room, yeah.
Well, you want to approach it from a scientific perspective? There are these things called molecules. Now, I don't know what a molecule looks like. Because I don't have a molecular microscope. But if I had one, I could see a molecule. And I'd know that the molecule for this fan is different than the molecules that make up this Bible. And different from the molecules that make up this iPad. But here's one thing I know about all these things that I
get around this room, yeah.
Is made of invisible molecules that I can't see. What is
get
that?
Around this room.
Well,
You gonna get you sweeping.
it's a testament.
You gonna get you scrubbing. Scrub, dub.
That
That
heaven
dog
gives
shouldn't get
earth
that tub.
meaning,
Ooh.
and earth gives heaven expression. What's the significance of that? Heaven
Be
gives
scrubbing
earth meaning,
now.
which tells me
Yeah, be
that the
scrubbing
significance of
now.
that is that
But your shoes not
physicality
too.
is
Ooh,
not
ooh, ooh,
I know I said that too fast.
ooh. Could be scrubbing
I'm not
now.
talking about the real world. Wrong answer, but we do have some nice
Ah,
conversations back.
but you not
Because
scrubbing
not only does it
too.
show me the physicality of
Do,
my
do,
reality,
do.
it shows me that invisibility
Cause I'm doing all the
is
work
real.
over here. I don't need to
I don't know about you
scrub.
guys today.
Cause I'm doing
I'm talking
everything
to you guys.
else.
So that's mine. Step on the brake, mine. reality. It is the reality that makes physicality possible.
You should be up scrubbing.
I'm talking about science. We science right now. We're going to go engineering here in a minute.
Cause your ass ain't get shit else.
Okay, we got a couple of engineers. Good.
Ooh,
Right now, we science. And the science tells us that everything we can see is made of molecules we can't see. It's testifying to a fact
More food,
that
bro.
physicality is not reality.
What?
Invisibility is reality, and physicality is simply a manifestation of
Good
reality.
shot, my brother.
So every time you see a physical thing, it is testifying to the invisible God that created it. Oh wait, there's more. Let's do some engineering. So we do some engineering for the engineering. So here's how engineering works. You sit down, you do all the math, you calculate all the formulas, you put together a plan, you put together a blueprint, and then you go and build the thing you are building according to the plan. Now, an engineer that builds buildings, we call them an architect. He's architect. What's he doing?
The architect.
He's taking this invisible structure that he sees in his mind, that she sees in her mind, putting it down on paper, so that the people that execute the work, that go get the physical materials, that will eventually manifest through work on the clear vision, the thing that he put on paper. And they're going to take the thing that he had in his mind, and he put it on paper, and then they're going to put it into work. This iPad exists because it had a plan. But before the plan existed, it existed in somebody's mind. Steve Jobs said, we're going to invent an iPhone. It ain't going to have no buttons. But that's it. I don't care if it's impossible. We're going to do it anyway. Why? Because he believed in his desired outcome more than he believed in the obstacles to that plan. Faith is the framework. Scientific framework, engineering framework. Do you realize that musicians hear songs in their head, and then once they hear it in their head, then they go put it on an instrument, or put it in a melody, or put it in some lyrics? You know, everything exists in the invisible. Like a tailor, a seamstress, they get this idea for this new design of this new outfit, and it's in their head. Okay, I'm gonna go create. I'm gonna go make a plan. I'm gonna draw it out. Okay, now I'm gonna go make a pattern. Okay, I'm gonna take the pattern. Then I'm gonna take a sewing machine. Everything that exists in the physical world started as an idea in somebody's head.
Yes,
Let
man.
me ask you a question. What color is an idea?
What color is an idea? Purple.
How much does an idea weigh? What is the texture of an idea? An idea is invisible to everyone but the person who has the vision of the idea. And one of the biggest problems you have in your life, and the reason you stay stuck, if you're staying stuck, is because you don't have a clear vision for the expectation of your future outcome.
You don't have a vision.
Because you're waiting until you can see it to believe it.
In the past. You don't have a vision.
But the Bible says, see, we said, seeing and believing, and we think we're saying something smart, right? That is dumb as a Bible. Seeing and believing. No, that ain't what David said. Here's what David said. David said, I had fainted unless I had believed to see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. So the belief came first. Okay, y'all didn't get it. Let me show it to you. Because y'all, either now I'm talking too fast or y'all listening too slow. Something's happening. So we say, seeing is believing. By the way, that is the formula for staying stuck like Chuck in a pickup truck for the rest of your life.
Seeing is believing.
Why? Because if you for you to do something, if seeing is believing, you're going to stay stuck because you have to always start over. You don't ever get any momentum. What do I mean? Seeing is believing. So you have to wait till you see something to believe it. Okay, I've seen it now. Now I'm going to believe it.
I've seen it, now I believe
What's going to happen
it.
if you want to see something else? I mean, you want to believe something else, but now you got to see something else so you can believe it. And so you got to go back to the beginning and start over. I gotta see something else. So I can leave. Watch what happens when you start with believing. If you start with believing, I'm gonna believe to see. I believe that I'm going to be able to do X, Y, Z outcome. I believe it, and then I see it. I believe that I was going to write this book from the trash man to the casket. The book existed first in my head, but I believed it so much that I kept working on it. And I kept working on it, and I believed it was going to sell. See, because I have writer's block. You don't have writer's block, you just don't believe the book's going to sell. If you knew you were going to sell 1 million copies next week, you get the copy, you get the book done today. If you started today, you get it done today. Why? Because it's our expectation of the future that pulls us into the future or blocks us from the future, depending on whether we believe that outcome in the future is favorable or unfavorable. Okay, so I believed it. So watch what happened. Then I did it. Then people started buying the book. Now let me ask you a question. When people started buying the book, did that cause me to believe more in the book or less in the book? When they started buying, I started seeing people buy it. Now I believe more. So believing is seeing, and then I get to see to believe. And then I started with believing, so boom, now I've got momentum. And now I have this productivity. And by the way, this right here, faith momentum, changes everything. Why? Because when you have momentum, everything feels easy. And when you're overcoming inertia and have no momentum, everything feels hard. Like when you don't have momentum, everything feels harder than it actually is. Like if you feel like I'm really having a hard time right now, that's because you don't have any momentum. And that's probably because you're believing the wrong thing. Probably. It's very likely. Okay, so I'm going to give you the framework now. And some of you have seen
You don't have no momentum.
I want you to understand.
You ain't believing what you see. You ain't got no momentum.
Every action you take in the present is based on a belief you have about the future. If you're not taking actions that are leading you to the outcome you desire in the future, you don't need to change the action, you need to change the beliefs. Change the expectation. Okay, we're ready. Now, how do I change the expectation? That's not part of it. That's just the specific part. You have to do it a specific way. And you can change your expectations. This is you. And these are the facts. And you observe the facts. You observe the facts. Either you see the facts or somebody tells you you hear the facts. And the first thing you do when you observe the facts is you put a frame around those facts. And that frame is in the form of a focus in your head. Now, if you get this, it'll change your life forever. Like if you really internalize what I'm showing you right now, it'll change everything about everything from now on, even forevermore. Okay, so here's the interesting thing about facts, though. If your attitude is right, the facts don't matter. What does that mean? Well, see, facts are like everything else in life. They have duality.
Duality in
So every
the fact, boy.
has a positive aspect and a negative aspect. So when we're focused on the facts, we actually just think we're focused on the facts.
Huh?
But we're actually focused on an aspect.
What's going on, Sinead?
We're either focused on the negative aspect of the fact or the positive aspect of the fact. But whichever aspect we're focused on, we think we're just focused on the fact. Unless we're completely aware that it has two sides. Now, it doesn't matter. Relationship, fitness, finance, it's all the same thing. We're focused on an aspect of the fact. And when we're focused on an aspect of the fact, here's what we do. We don't even have to do it intentionally, but we manufacture a belief about the facts, but actually about the positive aspect of the fact or the negative aspect of the fact. If I'm focused on the negative aspect of the fact, what it does is it makes me sad. If I'm focused on the positive aspect of the fact, it makes me happy. Whichever aspect of the fact I'm focused on, I think I'm focused on the entire fact that I'm not. I'm not. Okay. So if I'm going to manufacture a belief. Well, guess what? If I'm focused on the positive aspect of the fact, that belief is called faith. If I'm focused on the negative aspect of the fact, that belief is called doubt. Now here's the thing that most people don't get. Faith and doubt are both belief. I'm going to say it again, back up. Faith and doubt are both belief. Faith is belief in the outcome I desire. I love that word. That's one of my favorite. Faith is belief in the outcome I desire. Doubt is belief in the outcome I don't desire. So when I'm focused on the negative aspect of the fact, I'm manufacturing a belief called doubt. This is why you say, I've got a fear of rejection. You don't have a fear of rejection. I'm not sure you have it. You think you've mislabeled it. Okay, so you have doubt. Now, I love the word desire because the Latin root de is of or from, and the suffix sire is father. So the word desire means of the Father or from the Father. So I'm focused on what God has already promised me. That's all I'm focused on. Right? I'm focused on what God promised me. It's like God told the children of Israel, he said, look, here's what you do. Go up and fight the Midianites. Gideon, only take 300 men with you. Why? Because I'm going to fight for you. Gideon had to believe God was going to do what he said enough to send those thousands of other dudes back to the house. Okay, so he had belief in the promise of God. So when I have belief is a traveling salesman. So what it does, this belief goes down, travels down, and it creates a feeling in my heart. So the focus in my head, positive aspect produces faith, negative aspect produces the belief called doubt. Whichever one I produce, going to travel down and create a feeling in my heart. If I'm focused on the positive aspect of the fact, the feeling in my heart is called anticipation. This is so good. Anticipation. So, what does anticipation do? We have to understand anticipation is fuel. Anticipation is the energy I get when the outcome I expect is desirable. That's what anticipation is. Anticipation is the energy that I receive. It's the energy I get when the outcome is desirable. By the way, have you ever heard somebody say, worrying about something makes it happen? This is why. Because when you're worried about an outcome, you're focused on negative aspect of the fact, this causes you to manufacture doubt. And doubt causes you to manufacture a feeling in your heart called anxiety. Anxiety is the thief of your dream. We've been warned over and over in Scripture about anxiety. What is anxiety? Anxiety is the opposite of anticipation. Anticipation is the energy I get when the outcome I expect is desirable to me. Anxiety is wasting present energy on a future outcome that's undesirable to me. So I'm wasting my energy worrying about the fact that it might not work. Terrible question. Terrible question. If you learn to change disempowering questions into empowering questions, it can change how you feel. What if it doesn't work? What if you ask this question instead? How awesome is this going to be when it works? You're just asking a question. So, anxiety feels like fear. It causes the same physical reaction in our body as fear. Like when you have anxiety, your heart races. Your head sweats, your hands sweat, you're shaking. We call that having a what? Panic attack or an anxiety attack. But that's the same exact feeling that I have in my body when I'm playing golf. I hit my golf ball too close to the water, and I go up to the water, and I'm so focused on the golf ball that I didn't see that 12-foot alligator until I got up close. Right? And it feels the same, but it's not the same. Here's the difference between fear and anxiety. Fear is caution over a real and present danger. Fear is caution over a real and present danger. Which means If there is no real and present danger, there can be no fear. So, a couple months ago, I walked in,
Come on.
and I got stuff in my hands. I'm busy. I go out to the garage and get it ready, get in my car, and put stuff in my car. And I look down,
Okay, Myron.
and there is a possum in a mop bucket. That was not anxiety. Okay. So, fear is caution over a real and present danger. Anxiety is caution over a future imagined danger. So I'm conjuring up in my imagination some unfavorable outcome in the future that's causing me to have a physical reaction in my body in the present that's robbing me of the ability to take the action that could keep that thing from coming to me.
Yes. That's how I was feeling.
If you're an author, you don't have writer's block. You just have anxiety about the book not selling. If you're an entrepreneur, you don't have fear of rejection. You're just anxiety. You can see more clearly people saying no in your mind than you can people saying yes.
Where is the popcorn?
You can see the new promotion that you're doing not working more clearly than you can see it working. Okay, I gotta stop explaining it to you. I'll get it. So, here's what happens. Focus in our head creates a feeling in our heart. Focus in our head becomes either faith or doubt. Feeling in our heart is either anticipation or anxiety. But the focus in our head creates a feeling in our heart, and the feeling in the heart creates the
Where is the popcorn?
in our hands. And the function in my hands. And if I'm focused on the positive aspect of the facts, and I'm manufacturing a belief called faith, and it's causing anticipation in my heart, and it's giving me energy, the function in my hand is called power. I now have the power to act. By the way, I did.
Where is the popcorn?
Oh, this is cognitive behavioral therapy. They told me it was cognitive behavioral therapy after I found it in the Bible. The Bible's not a therapy book, but it contains some therapy. Can I get a witness? Okay. So, if I'm focused on the negative aspect of the facts, then I'm going to manufacture a belief called doubt, and I'm going to have a feeling of anxiety, and the function in my hand is called powerlessness. So, I want you to notice this focus in my head is where it all begins. The reason you are doing what you are doing is because of what you are focused on. The reason you are not doing what you're not doing is because what you're focused on. Mark's asking, I was playing golf against Paul yesterday. I was playing good too. I'm talking about through 14 holes, we were tied. And I had just birdied 13 to tie it back up.
Okay.
One of my favorite holes, one of the easiest holes in the golf course, one of the easiest par fours in the back nine. It's not on the golf course, but on the back nine. And I get a phone call, and I take it, and I get distracted. My focus is off literally for 2 minutes. I'm having this conversation with this guy about something I didn't need to be thinking about. And I've been hitting fairways all day. What do? I don't even know how to hit a slice. Hit my ball directly into the woods on the right, never to be seen again, and everything fell apart from there. Because I lost focus. The focus in our head creates the feeling in our heart, and the feeling in our heart creates the function in our hand. Oh, where is this at in the Bible? I'm going to tell you where it's at in the Bible, and then I got to be done because I got a coaching call that starts in 8 minutes. So here's where this is at in the Bible. Romans chapter 6, verse number 17. But ye have obeyed, function in your hand, from the heart, that's the feeling in your heart, the form of doctrine, the focus in your head, which was delivered to you. John 13:17, that's Romans 6:17. John 13:17 says this. If you know these things, focus in your head, happy are ye, function in your feeling in your heart, you do that, function in your hands. If you can stop wasting your energy on worry, Jesus said, don't worry about tomorrow. What's he saying? He's saying, stop wasting today's energy worrying about tomorrow's problems, because tomorrow should take thought for the things that are self-sufficient into today is the evil thereof. Stop wasting your energy today worrying about what's going to happen or not going to happen tomorrow. Some of you are so worried about where AI is taking us that you're not doing anything today. You're so worried about the end times and what's going on in the world, and you can't even fix the things going on in your world. Stop it. This is the foundation foundational framework for functionality in life. Discover the principles. Focus on it. Focus on the positive aspect of that. Let it build faith. Let that faith give you the anticipation. And let that anticipation give you the power to take action. And your life will be changed. Go do it. Thanks for watching. Stay blessed by the best. We'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.
Stay blessed by the best.
In this video, I'm going to teach you how to just teach better and speak clearer. How to stop being boring, confusing, uninteresting. And this is for every teacher, parent, leader, preacher, consultant, content creator. If you are a person who talks to people and you want the words that you say to land in a place where something can be done about it, this video is for you. You're like, well, my content doesn't get any engagement on social media. This video is for you. I'm a pastor and people are falling asleep on preaching. For you. I'm a public speaker and I never get a stand. For you. I'm a teacher and my students hate me. For you. If you want to get better at impacting lives, this video is how you're going to do it. So in this video, I'm going to teach you a formula and some frameworks to become a better communicator. I quoted this morning already, but I'm going to quote it again. My daughter said to me one time, Dad, you know what? The biggest problem in communication is thinking that it happened. How would you like to be a better communicator, regardless of domain, so that you can speak clearly and with conviction and know that you know that you know that if they didn't get it, it wasn't because you didn't bring it. I was talking to my good friend Kenny Grant last night. I said, why is it that the people who have the least to say take the longest to say it? Like, do you ever listen to somebody, do you ever listen to a preacher who can't preach? He cannot land the plane. A teacher can't land the plane. A public speaker can't land the plane. That's ramble. I'm like, it's like they're flying around for 17 hours with no food. Well, after you learn these principles, if you will apply them, that won't be you. If it's ever been you, it won't be you anymore. If it's never been you, it's just going to take whatever you teach, whatever content you create. If you want to write books, create courses, become a business consultant, you just want your children to turn out right. This is
You want my children to turn out right.
what you've been looking for. Instead of leaving people clueless when you speak, you'll leave them speechless and ready to march. Because communication is a skill, it is not a talent. Talents are God-given, skills are acquirable. And you can be the biggest introvert in the world and still become a great speaker, and I know I'm an introvert who operates as an extrovert when I'm in charge of the arena. Like, I am not an extroverted person. If you see me at a conference, you might not see me unless I'm speaking. I will sit in the back in a corner and mind my own business, and hopefully nobody notices it. And let's don't even talk about Myron at a party. I might as well be wallpaper. I'm such a wallflower. Floral wallpaper, I'm such a wallflower. Like, I am not the life of the party. Now, you might find that hard to believe, but it is what it is. But even if you're an introvert, you will become a better communicator because you will have tools. They say, whoever they are, right? They say that public speaking is most people's greatest fear. They fear public speaking more than death. And I'm like, how's that possible? Well, I believe that most people fear public speaking because they don't know what's going to happen. And the sense of uncertainty that they have about whether or not they're going to get their message across, whether or not their message is going to be received, whether or not they're going to be judged, is so heavy to them that they can't really even think about the content that they desire to communicate. And so, a couple things you got to understand first before I even get into it. A couple things you got to understand.
let's start by understanding why people struggle with communication. Before I even get into how to be a better communicator, like, why do people struggle with communication? Number one reason people struggle with communication is because they've never learned how to think. They've been told their whole life what to think, but never been taught
How to think.
is thinking that you already know. It says it like this in Hosea 4:6. It says, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge." Well, God's people had the Torah. They had
Go ahead, the Torah.
So how is it the people who have God's perspective
What is
have a
going
lack of
on?
knowledge? Well, they have a lack of knowledge. It tells us in the next verse, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject it." So it wasn't that they couldn't learn, that they didn't learn. It was that they wouldn't learn, that they didn't learn.
About 24
And so
more cups
resistance to truth keeps us in ignorance, and it keeps us from learning. Now, what is the number one thing that causes people to not want to learn something? To resist truth, thinking that they already know. That's why it's very important
Get the next one
to
going
not have
on
answers that we
average.
can't question. I would rather have questions I can't answer
So
than
about a
answers I
minute
can't
per
question. Because if I have an answer and it's true,
engraving.
and I question it, it will always hold up. I don't have to be afraid that a truth is going to be proven wrong. It's the truth. The truth never has to hide from a lie. The truth never has to hide from error. The truth doesn't need to silence error in order for it to exist. But error has to silence the truth in order for it to exist. And that is why one of the greatest wars that's ever been waged in the history of the world is the war against truth. So,
She's texting me again just now.
how can I become a better teacher, a better communicator, a better leader, a better business leader, a better coach, a better consultant, a better author? How can I make it so that when I'm talking to people, my message lands?
Yeah, I think if I thought I could get the
First, I'm
stuff
going to give you
for,
the foundation of being a good teacher.
for Tiff.
Okay? The foundation of being a good teacher.
birthday.
And in fact, I'm going to write it on my trusty digital blackboard. The foundation of being a good teacher is...
Yeah.
Ta-da.
He must really want it.
Okay.
He must really want it.
In one moment. There we go. Okay. The foundation of being a good teacher is... My keyboard popped up and I can't figure it out. Okay. Number one is discover the truth. So when you discover the truth, you have to be... You're looking for an answer to something. Now, when you're seeking to discover the truth, one of the biggest problems that I see that teachers have, teachers, preachers, speakers, whatever, they do research to talk about something. They do research for the purpose of teaching and not for the purpose of learning. So when I'm discovering truth, when I'm looking for the truth, I'm not looking for the truth so I can teach it. I'm looking for the truth so I can learn it. And the reason I want to learn it is so I can live it. And see, then, if I learn the truth, if I'm looking for the truth so I can learn it, and then I'm discovering the truth so I can live it, now I'm not just teaching what I think I know about, I'm actually teaching what I've learned and lived. Does that make sense? And so one of the things, like when I'm teaching business, is I know I don't have to worry about whether anything I'm saying is accurate or not because I don't teach theory. I only teach stuff I've done. So if I say this works in business, I'm not hoping it works. I didn't read it in a book last weekend and hope that person was right. I've already done this. I know this works. So I discovered the truth. And I'm discovering the truth not so I can teach it. I'm discovering the truth so I can learn it, and I'm learning it so I can live it. And then once I learn it so I can live it, then I can put it in language, wrap it in language that other people are gonna, because then I become the message instead of just the messenger. Are you all track? Okay, cool. So then, once I discover the truth, the second thing I have to do is I have to dissect it. Dissect the truth. Now what does that mean? That means I start
Peel it back layer by layer. Okay, what does this mean? You want to take your life to another level? You ready? Read more books. But, just like when you're reading the Bible, turn that reading into a school zone and not a super information highway. What does that mean? Slow down so some learning can take place. Slow down to do what? If you're reading a book, every time you come across a word that you don't know the definition, look it up. The more you increase your vocabulary, the bigger your experiential world gets. I was listening to a Jim Rohn program a long time ago. He said they did some research on inmates in prison, and they found something they weren't looking for. What did they find? They found that one common trait that these inmates had that they weren't expecting was they had a very small vocabulary. Isn't that fascinating? And then he said this: words are not just a communication tool, they are the window through which we see the world. And if you have a very small vocabulary, you don't need a very big world to live in. That's what I said. And then I said it backwards. I said, wow. And so the more words we have in our vocabulary, the more clearly we can see everything, because truth is light. And in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God, and the same was in the beginning with God, and all things were made by him, and without him was not anything made. It's fascinating, the next thing it says. In him was the life, and the life was the light. In him who? Him, the Word, was the light of men. But the light shined in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. So the more words we have in our vocabulary, the more vision we have, the more illumination we have, the more we understand the world, the more of the world we can actually see what it is. So we have to dissect the truth. We have to break it down into its individual components. I talked about that last week, so I'm not going to redo that. Okay, we dissect the truth. And then we demonstrate the truth by living it. So that's number 3. We demonstrate it. Demonstrate the truth. And then, lastly, then we declare the truth. So it'll make your life so much easier. Do you understand? If you do something over and over and over and over and over and over again, you don't need an outline to remember what you did. You don't need to memorize a script to remember what you did. You just talk about what you did in the order in which you did it. So, like, who in here has a really, really amazing dish that you make? And you can just, like, when you first made it, maybe you needed a recipe book, but now you just like, I don't know, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, throw it together, and like, oh my goodness, it's the best I've ever, right? I mean, right? Why? Because you've done it so many times, you've got that thing on rinse and repeat. Well, what happens when you really learn a lesson that you've learned to the point of living it is now you can talk about it and put that thing on rinse and repeat. I remember when my first public speaking was on a Sunday school bus. I had my hands in my pocket, I looked at the ground, and I said, more than any other word in my vocabulary. And I'm only talking to like elementary school kids, and I'm looking at the ground, my hands are in my pocket. And so my co-captain, Kim, she said, when we got done, she said, Mario, you can't just stand up there with your hands in your pocket, looking at the ground, saying, That was a good lesson. So next time I didn't have my hands in my pocket, right? And so, but why? Because I'm new at this. I'm talking to elementary school kids, and I'm an introvert, and I'm like, I can't even look at them. I don't have that problem anymore. Why? Because I just teach stuff I'm living. I don't need to make some new stuff up. Okay, cool. So that's number 1. That's the foundation. Now, this is the part. This is gonna get so juicy. You have to understand that there are 4 levels of learning that exist. And if you are going to be a good teacher, you have to teach on all 4 levels, or you're going to create a class of confused students, followers, whatever. There are 4 levels of learning. Now, what's interesting is all numbers have significance. And I think this is important. It's important for us, when we dissect the truth, what happens is we recognize patterns.
And then we'll go dissect a different truth in a totally different domain, in a totally different discipline, and we'll see that the pattern is the same as another discipline because all principles are microcosms of each other, right? And so what happens is as you're studying in Hebrew culture, like all numbers have significance. They mean, like the number itself has meaning. Like 1 is the number of unity, the unity of God. How sweet it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. 2 is the number of holiness or separation. 3 is the number of God. 4 is the number of the earth, which is fascinating because there's 4 seasons: winter, spring, summer, and fall. There are 4 directions: north, south, east, and west. Right? There are 4 elements: earth, wind, water, and fire. Right? And so, like a lot of times when we find principles in the earth realm, in Daniel's in the Daniel prophecy, there are 4 beasts. They're like 4 is the number of the earth. It's really fascinating. But we've talked about the 4 levels of value from Genesis chapter 1. Well, today I'm going to talk to you about, there are 4 levels of parenting, by the way, for 4 levels of child development. But there are 4 levels of learning. Therefore, if you are going to be a good teacher, become a better teacher, you must teach from all 4 levels. And you're going to see clearly, people are going to come to your mind who've attempted to teach you things and you wonder why you couldn't get it. You're going to recognize why you couldn't get it when you see this. There are 4 levels of teaching, 4 levels of learning. And so I'm going to start from lowest to highest. I'm going to build a 4-level staircase just like we do with the 4 levels of value. And the lowest level of learning is tactics. And tactics answer the question, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Now, the deception in seeking tactics and teaching tactics is that people believe that if they know what to do, that's what they need. But I want you to just take a pause for a second and think about yourself and think about how many things that you already know to do. You already know what to do, and you just don't do it. No, I ain't doing that. No, I ain't doing that. Right? Okay. Okay. No, not that either. All right. Right. So that ought to let you know that what. And by the way, if you're a coach, or a pastor, or a consultant, or a teacher, and a student comes to you, if they are new in a discipline, the questions that they will ask you will be tactical questions because they think if they know what to do, they will do it. You have to have a high enough level of awareness to know that just because they know what to do does not mean they're going to do it. Jesus.
Before I got a look at each other with effective ruler like this, people sometimes
Four Valdos? Good, there we go. Oh my god, 2 div. Holy shit. Okay, so the way that this actually works is super straightforward. Like I said before, we're going 1 neuroses, 3 paranoia, and 1 infamy. So the infamy just guarantees us infamous works, which these have root buffed rucksacks, so you're going to be seeing a lot of divs, a lot of chromes, it's like better currency than a normal merc would have. And then neurosis here essentially just, it makes it so that if you see a unique boss in your map, it'll give you +1 tile reward. And this on top of the Atlas nodes here, make it so that we'll see 100% more unique bosses. A lot of times in the maps, you're guaranteed to have at least 1 unique boss, but I think you're allowed to have upwards of 3. So 1 to 3 additional tile rewards for your map is very, very nice. But we're going to be looking to get like 7 tile rewards minimum, and then, if you get more bosses, you can go up 9. So for the true, we're looking for 3 things here. We're looking for merc stuff, these are merc nodes, and then we're looking for heist nodes, and then we're looking for deli nodes. So these are the most important heist nodes here. These allow you to get these special blueprints that are potentially experimented items, number 1, and then currency and scarabs, number 2. I think currency and scarabs are worth like 1 or 2 div, and experimented items, depending on how many wings are revealed and how many max wings there are, would be worth like around 4 or 5 div. So these are just free money. You just click on the heist frog blocks, lockers. Depending on what your filter is, I highly recommend that you get like a good filter that will only show the special blueprints because they're the only ones really worth money. And then all of the other like heist nodes here are just to give you more blueprints. For our merc nodes, you just want to have a 100% merc chance, or 92% is all you need, but 100% is what we're going for because there's no 2% merc chance or 8%. In the Atlas Planner, it's bugged, like it just doesn't show these two nodes here, but you need to get this additional node. This puts you from 90% to 100%, and this node here is only necessary if you are a preliminary bot like I am, and your merc deals most of the damage, then this is just nice to have to make sure the merc fight's a little bit cleaner. And then after that, the other stuff is just like, you know, this is just for more gold. You don't necessarily need to take this, but I took it just because I wanted gold. And then these are nice as well, 50% chance to have uniques. This is just like, obviously perk for like tier 0 uniques, but also there's a lot of uniques that just like are worth money. For the deli, you know, we're taking pretty much every deli node here. This is for increased unique monsters, for neurosis. This node here is just for like more deli reward types, which is just like more deli loot. And then this here is just really nice for deli orbs. You aren't really gonna be picking up any cluster jewels. You're gonna want a pretty strict filter. I'll link mine in the description as well. But yeah, this is just for the deli orb. Most of our loot from Korean is going to be deli orbs, which are worth like minimum 10 each, just like currency, stacked decks, that kind of stuff. I think I made like 15 dim stacked decks over like 5 or 6 hours. And then here, you just want to have enough deli chance that we don't need to run any sort of like deli, we just have guaranteed deli mirrors. And then after that, we're just going for shrines. Shrines speed up your maps, like if you get an acceleration shrine or echo shrine, you're going to move a lot faster. But shrines also give you guaranteed packs on them, which gives you more pack size, which gives you more deli progression. And then this last one here is Imagine Pursuits. When you kill the boss, you will get +1 completion on your deli rewards. This is really good because we will be running 8 mod maps. You can't run 8 mod maps, you can run 6 mod maps. You can't run 6 mod maps, maybe 4. You can even run this on 0, but you will lose a lot of loot if you run it on 0 mod maps just because we have a lot of pack size here, which makes it so we progress through our deli a lot better. And then also the more quantity I believe you have on your maps, the higher likelihood you are to proc an anomaly. And the harvest anomaly in the top right is phenomenal. It's probably actually like 4 or 5 div an hour just from life force and rain cores. But yeah, that's pretty much all there really is to it. I'll run through a map right now and show you guys what it actually looks like. And I'll try to walk you guys through a little bit of what we're doing. Okay, so what you do when you get to map is you're gonna open the mirror, right? And when you open the mirror, you're gonna wanna give it a second to spread. So sometimes it takes like, depending on like the direction it flows towards, it'll take a second, maybe 2 seconds to spread. Where sometimes if you run too far, you actually won't be getting kill counts for your deli progression here. If you see a split, a memory tear here, you always want to click it, go over and check with the merc. It takes a second for that to drop. And when you see the merc in the map, it'll usually be at the start here or towards the top right in the end. But there's pretty much four things I was looking for. It was Cruel Mistress, Infamous Sniper, Combatant, and Kineticist. I will have a link in the description below with Sushi's spreadsheet that goes over the mercs that he was looking for and what mods they want. But for Sniper, generally you want something like Tornado Shot. He doesn't have Tornado Shot on like haste, stuff like that. Kineticist, you want like K-Bach plus KB. In the description, it'll be very clear what you want. Here, he doesn't have like the thing that you want. So this is the first thing you check is this a good base? This is a good base. Sniper is good. You want Tornado Shot here. We don't have that. That's fine. And then the second thing you're gonna want to check is whether or not he has a unique belt. I don't really care about anything else. It's just not time efficient to be checking everything unless you like can instantly tell what all the good tier 1, tier 0 uniques are. But I was just looking to see if a Headhunter or Mage Blood. If not, you just instantly click the rucksack. It doesn't matter if there's dog shit in here like this, because the way it works is these other mercs are also infamous and they also have their buffed rucksacks. But if you click on them, you can see it only shows the loot from this main guy, which means that these other guys could potentially have divs, they could have blocks, they could have mirrors in their rucksacks as well. If you're doing infamy, you always want to clear the merc because of the secondary and tertiary infamous mercs. This guy takes a little bit of time to actually drop, but he'll always drop a memory of some sort. These are usually going to be worth if you see. Some of them are worth more than others, and then these are the unique daily bosses. You're gonna want to kill these almost all, like pretty much all the time. Okay, these guys will. If you see here, this is 4 tiles. If you kill them, it'll automatically push it up to 5. It'll automatically push it up 1 tile reward. That is what Neurosis does. And we are running 100+ bonds, and we are gonna be seeing tanks. We are gonna be seeing a good amount of other loot just from like killing random mobs in our map. You don't worry about any of the cluster jewels. And then here for the Smuggler's Crashes, you literally just open it and then you run away. And if you hear like a gong sound, at least for like my filter, I'll link the filter in the description as well. You know that you have one of the buff blueprints, which has potential for experimented items or currency and scare, which will be only that we care about. This is trash, and it gets filtered out by us, so we don't even need to worry about it. But you're just really running through the map as quickly as possible, clicking on certain things, and then you're just running through, trying to do like a max per hour strategy. Don't worry too much about pushing your, like here, we're 6 out of 7. And if we just barely kill like a few more mobs, I'm sure we can probably push up to 7. But I would say like for the most part, don't worry about that. It's like not time efficient to care so much about getting the last deli tile upgrade. It's better just to like finish the map as quickly as possible. The deli tiles are just like the cream on top, and it's not something like you should really stress about too much. It's just kill the merc, get through the map for the most part, pick up everything you have on the way, and then rush the boss, okay? As you just saw here, we got an anomaly reward. These are worth a ton of money. And then here, as soon as you kill the boss, you just end the delirium encounter, open up your portal, and wait for all the loot to drop.
Introducing AI Studio in Adobe Stock, your new creative partner. Shape over 900 million assets to your vision.
Okay? As you just saw here, we got them for the most, and it's not, there's a few more mobs. I'm sure we can probably push it to 7. But I would say, like, for the most part, don't worry about that. It's, like, not time efficient to care so much about getting the last deli tile upgrade. It's better just to, like, finish the map as quickly as possible. The deli tiles are just, like, the cream on top, and it's not something that, like, you should really stress about too much. It's just kill the merc, get through the map for the most part, pick up everything you have on the way, and then rush the boss, okay? As you just saw here, we got an anomaly reward. These are worth a ton of money. And then here, as soon as you kill the boss, you just end the delirium encounter, open up your portal. For the most part, pick up everything you have on the way. Much if you dealt. Yeah. Here we're 6 out of 7. And if we just barely kill like a few more mobs, I'm sure we can probably push it to 7. But I would say, like, for the most part, don't worry about that. It's, like, not time efficient to care so we can probably push it up to 7. But I would say, like, for the most part, don't worry about that. It's, like, not time efficient to care so much about getting the last deli tile upgrade. It's better just to, like, finish the map as quickly as you care so we can probably push it up to 7. But I would say, like, for the most part, don't worry about that. It's, like, not time efficient to care so much about getting the last deli tile upgrade. It's better just to, like, finish the map as quickly as possible. The deli tiles are just, like, the cream on top, and it's not something that, like, you should really stress about too much. It's just kill the merc, get through the map for the most part, pick up everything you have on the way, and then rush the boss, okay? As you just saw here, we got an anomaly reward. These are worth a ton of money. And then here, as soon as you kill the boss, you just end the delirium encounter, open up your portal, and wait for all the loot to drop. So here we go. This is, I would say, a little bit less than standard. Usually you're getting like 3+ deli orbs, and then plus some, like, you know, other loot like stack decks, currency drop, whatever. Here we got an increased dev curve with damage support. You're gonna see these as well. This is 3 div. Like, there's a lot of jackpot drops you can get, but I would say on average the deli loot reward will more than pay for the actual scarabs that you're putting in. I would say you're probably making like an extra like 30 chaos on average with the chance to get like jackpot, like 3 div drops like this. And then you're dropping a bunch of different stuff in the deli tile rewards. And then as you just saw, we got the Lake Pilot anomaly. This is like a mid one. You can opt to skip this, but this is like potential jackpot. This is the old reflecting miss values, so you could theoretically be getting like +2 skills, or +4 if it goes on simplex, for example, like that kind of thing. It has the old roll wages for the reflecting miss. So you just check that. The real moneymaker is going to be the harvest, which will appear right here. And you essentially have a chance to kill harvest mobs, and if there's a unique mob, they have a chance to drop the Rancor, which is worth 2.5 div when I was doing this. So for this strategy, we did it a little bit differently. We were putting all of our scarabs, all of our maps, everything into our stash, and letting Wealthy Exile calculate everything. So all these numbers are going to be total profit numbers. If it was 30 minutes long, it was 20 maps. If it was an hour, it was 40. And if it was an hour and a half, it was going to be like 60 maps, right? It was roughly taking us 30 minutes to run 20 maps. So 40 maps an hour. Again, it's like a map every minute and a half. And the idea, as you guys saw in the showcase, was just about speed. Like, you want to clear these as quickly as possible. First test was a good profit, 30 minutes. Second one was 57 div, profit, 1 hour. Third test was 61, 2 div in an hour 30. And the last test was only 45 div in 1 hour. So total profit equals 176 div, and this is profit, this is including costs. Total time equals to 4 hours, 20 minutes. That's 176 divided by 4.3. 40 div an hour. Holy shit. 40 div an hour profit, boys. Not including Giga Mercs. We got one worth 100 to 200 div. Our total profit was 176 div, so this brings us up to 41 roughly div per hour. Maybe I got lucky, maybe the value of the things that you're selling go down pretty significantly. So in general, I like to give you guys a little conservative number, so I'll just call this 35 div an hour, I guess counting for like streamer inflation, whether that be streamer client or posting videos, making the price of the materials go up. This is also a giga jackpot strat, right? We're running 40 maps an hour, so we are checking 40 infamous marks an hour. This profit number does not include the fact that, we actually were able to find one pretty insane ball I shot, many shot merc, which is worth around like 100, maybe 120 div. It's really hard to price these mercs. It's a super volatile market, but I'll again link in the description the spreadsheet you can use to see which mercs have value, as well as the price checking app you can use to go and price check your mercs themselves. Anyways, this is probably the highest div per hour strat that I found. It's actually really fun too. A lot of tanks that you're gonna be dropping throughout the maps, because like you're running 110 plus quant on Delhi maps, so you're gonna be getting a lot of just like random tank drops from like just killing mobs. Probably like a few an hour, which I know a few an hour sounds kind of bad, but like this league is actually pretty solid. As well as just killing mercs, you're gonna be dropping a lot of tanks, and you're running like probably like 8 Delhi tiles normally, so you're gonna be getting like tanks just from that as well. Probably one of the most fun strats that I've run this league in terms of like being high div per hour and also having good tanks as well as consistent.
Vistaprint is where your big ideas become gold apparel. So you can wear and share your brand in custom t-shirts, hats, hoodies, and more. Just pick it, click it, and print it with Vistaprint. Print your awesome with 20% off your first order at Vistaprint.com.
We're 1 sentence away from launching a website for Base 44. Since the beginning of the internet, there's never been such a fun, fast, and intelligent way to launch online. Landing pages, content hubs, e-commerce sites, you describe it and it's built in minutes. It's kind of wild how far a short prompt can get you. Right away, it generates a full site. Pages, structure, layout, design, it's all there. Next, styling. I shape it around my taste and ask for what I want. Darker palette, different font.
Minimum, and then if you get more bosses, you can go up to 9. So for the tree, we're looking for 3 things here. We're looking for merc stuff, these are merc nodes, and then we're looking for heist nodes, and then we're looking for daily nodes. So these are the most important heist nodes here. These allow you to get these special blueprints that are potentially experimental items number 1, and then currency and scarabs number 2. I think currency and scarabs will look at 1 or 2 div, and experimental items depending on how many wins revealed and how many max wins there are will be worth at around 4 or 5 div. So these are just free money. You just click on the heist swap blocks and lockers. Depending on what your filter is, I highly recommend you get like a good filter that will only show the special blueprints. Those are the only ones where you worth money. And then all of the other like heist nodes here are just to give you more blueprints. For our merc nodes, you just want to have 100% merc chance, or 92% is all you need, but 100% is what we're going for because there's no 2% merc chance or 8%. In the Atlas Planner, it's bugged, like it just doesn't show these 2 nodes here, but you need to get this additional node. This puts you from 90% to 100%, and this node here is only necessary if you are a luminary bot like I am, and your merc deals most of the damage. Then this is just nice to have. It makes your merc fights a little bit cleaner. And then after that, the other stuff is just like, this is just for more gold. You don't necessarily need to take this, but I took it just because I wanted gold. And then these are nice as well, 50% chance of having uniques. This is just like, obviously code for like tier 0 uniques, but also there's a lot of uniques that just like are worth money. For the daily, taking pretty much every daily node here, this is for increasing new sponsors, for neurosis. This node here is just for like more daily reward types, which is just like more daily loot. And then this here is just really nice for daily orbs. Aren't really going to be picking up any cluster jewels. You're going to want pretty strict filter. I'll link mine in the description as well. But yeah, this is just for the daily orb. Most of our loot from Delirium is going to be daily orbs, which are worth like minimum 10C each. Just like currency, stack decks, that kind of stuff. I think I made like 15 dim stack decks over like 5 or 6 hours. And then here, you just want to have enough deli chance that we don't need to run any sort of like deli. We just have guaranteed deli mirrors. And then after that, we're just going for shrines. Shrines speed up your maps. Like if you get an acceleration shrine or echo shrine, you're going to be moving a lot faster. But shrines also give you guaranteed packs on them, which gives you more pack size, which gives you more deli progression. And then this last one here is Imagined Pursuits. When you kill the boss, you will get +1 completion on your deli rewards. This is really good because we will be running 8 mod maps. You can't run 8 mod maps, you can run 6 mod maps. You can't run 6 mod maps, maybe 4. You can even run this on 0, but you will lose a lot of loot if you run it on 0 mod maps, just because we have a lot of pack size here, which makes it so we progress through our deli a lot better. And then also, the more quantity I believe you have on your maps, the higher likelihood you are to drop the anomaly. And the harvest anomaly in the top right is phenomenal. It's probably actually like 4 or 5 div an hour just from life force and main cores. But yeah, that's pretty much all there really is to it. I'll run through a map right now and show you guys what it actually looks like. I'll try to walk you guys through a little bit of what we're doing. All right, so what you do when you get to the map is you're gonna open the mirror, right? And when you open the mirror, you're gonna want to give it a second to spread. So sometimes it takes like, depending on like the direction it flows towards, it'll take a second, maybe 2 seconds to spread. Where sometimes if you run too far, you actually won't be getting kill counts for your deli progression here. If you see a memory tear here, you always want to click it, go over and check like the merc. It takes a second for that to drop. And then when you see the merc in the map, it'll usually be at the start here or towards the top right in the end. But there's pretty much 4 things I was looking for. It was Cruel Mistress, Infamous Sniper, Combatant, and Kineticist. I will have a link in the description below with Sushi spreadsheet that goes over the mercs that he was looking for and what mods they want. But for Sniper, generally you want something like Tornado Shot. He doesn't have Tornado Shot, but enough haste, stuff like that. Kineticist, you want like K-Bop plus KB. In the description, it'll be very clear what you want. Here, he doesn't have like the thing that you want, so this is the first thing you check is this a good base? This is a good base. Sniper is good. You want Tornado Shot here. We don't have that. That's fine. And then the second thing you're going to check is whether or not he has a unique belt. I don't really care about anything else. It's just not time efficient to be checking everything unless you can instantly tell what all the good tier 1, tier 2 uniques are. But I was just looking to see if it had headhunter or multi. If not, you just insta click the rucksack. It doesn't matter if there's dog shit in here like this, because the way it works is these other mercs are also infamous and they also have their buffed rucksacks. But if you click on them, you can see it only shows the loot from this main guy, which means that these other guys could potentially have divs, they could have locks, they could have mirrors in their rucksacks as well. If you're doing infamy, you always want to clear the merc because of the secondary and tertiary infamous mercs. This guy takes a little bit of time to actually drop, but he'll always drop a memory of some sort. These are usually going to be worth the UC. Some of them are worth more than others, and these are the unique daily bosses. You're going to want to kill these almost all, like pretty much all the time, okay? These guys will, if you see here, this is 4 tiles. If you kill them, it'll automatically push up to 5. It'll automatically push it up 1 pal reward. That is what Neurosis does. And we are running 100 plus bonds, so we are going to be seeing tanks. We are going to be seeing a good amount of other loot just from like killing random mobs on that. You don't worry about any of the cluster jewels. And then here, to slow those badges, you really just open it and then you run away. If you hear like a gong sound, at least for like my filter, I'll link the filter in the description as well. You know that you have one of the buff blueprints, which has the potential for experimented items or currency and scarabs, which are the only 2 that we care about. This is trash, and it gets filtered out by us, so we don't even need to worry about it. But you're just really running through the map as quickly as possible, clicking on certain things, and then you're just running through, trying to do like a maps per hour strategy. Don't worry too much about pushing your, like here we're 6 out of 7. And if we just barely kill like a few more mobs, I'm sure we can probably push up to 7. But I would say like for the most part, don't worry about that. It's like not time efficient to care so much about getting the last deli tile upgrade. It's better just to like finish the map as quickly as possible. The deli tiles are just like the cream on top. And it's not something that like you should really stress about too much. It's just kill the merc, get through the map for the most part, pick up everything you have on the way. These are worth a ton of money. And then here, as soon as you kill the boss, you just end the delirium encounter, open up your portal, and wait for all the loot to drop. So here we go. This is, I would say, a little bit less than standard. Usually you're getting like 3 plus deli orbs, and then plus some like, other loot like stack decks, currency drop, whatever. Here we got an increased death critical damage support. You're gonna see these as well. This is 3 div. Like, there's a lot of jackpot drops you can get, but I would say on average, the deli loot reward will more than pay for the actual scarabs that you're putting in. I would say you're probably making like an extra like 30 chaos on average, with the chance to get like jackpot, like 3 div drops like this. You're dropping a bunch of different stuff in the deli tile rewards. And then as you just saw, we got the Lake Pilot. And normally this is like a mid one. You can opt to skip this, but this is like potential jackpot. This is the old reflecting mist values, so you could theoretically be getting like +2 skills, or +4 if it was like on simplex, for example, like that kind of thing. It has the old roll rages for the reflecting mist. So you just check that. The real money maker is going to be the harvest, which will appear right here. And you essentially have a chance to harvest mobs, and if there's a unique mob, they have a chance to drop the rainfall, which is worth 2.5 div when I was doing this. So for this strategy, we did it a little bit differently. We were putting all of our scarabs, all of our maps, everything into our stash, and letting Wealthy Exile calculate everything. So all of these numbers are going to be total profit numbers. If it was 30 minutes long, it was 20 maps. If it was an hour, it was 40, and if it was an hour and a half, it was going to be like 60 maps, right? It was roughly taking us 30 minutes to run 20 maps. So 40 maps an hour. Again, it's like a map every minute and a half. And the idea, as you guys saw in the showcase, was just about speed. Like, you want to clear these as quickly as possible. First test was 12 div profit, 30 minutes. Second one was 57 div profit, 1 hour. Third test was 61, 2 div in an hour 40. And the last test was only 45 div in 1 hour. So total profit equals 176 div, and this is profit. This is including costs. Total time equals to 4 hours, 20 minutes. That's 176 divided by 4.3. 40 div an hour. Holy shit. 40 div an hour profit, boys. Not including gigamercs. We got one worth 100 to 200 div. Our total profit was 176 div, so this brings it up to 41 roughly div per hour. Maybe I got lucky. Maybe the value of the things that we're selling go down pretty significantly. So in general, like to give you guys a really conservative number, so I'll just call this 35 div an hour. I guess counting for like streamer inflation, whether that be streamer client or posting videos making the price of the materials go up.
And that's all good. Let's get one of those things. Done. Done. Feeding it on the side.